Hey guys, this is the Revolutionary Male. My name is Alex. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and get into another article from Carlyn Beccia. I've already done a couple of her videos for her articles. As I'm going through her back catalog, I'm interested in her writing because I think a lot of the things that I've encountered in her writing are very indicative of a lot of modern women. And since I'm most interested, at least at this point in time, on focusing on a lot of dating stuff on the channel, I'm going to continue to kind of go through her back catalog and see what I can find, see if there's content that can be useful to me. The article I'm going to go ahead and read tonight is Why I Won't Date Anyone Unvaccinated. It's not about science denial or vaccine hesitancy. It's about selfishness. I'm sure it is. Let's see. The text conversation started promising. In his pictures, Derek had librarian glasses, a devil-may-care grin, and he was wearing a shirt. He asked thought-provoking questions and shared intriguing details about his passion for falconry. Best of all, he didn't waste my time with weeks of text exchanges, excuse me guys, my nose itches, and went right for the brass ring. I'm not really sure what that's referencing, but okay, brass ring. He asked me out to dinner. So I assume that she's meeting this guy or met this guy on an online dating app or website. It's not completely clear that that's the case, but that's the only thing I can assume with any degree of probability that it is true here, is that she's talking about to a guy she met on a dating app. Finally, a grown-up who might be a wizard in disguise. Sign me up for that. This is something you're going to see a lot, guys. Women make up stories in their head about you. Okay? When a woman meets you for the first time, honestly, in any context, but especially true in a romantic context, she's going to take the tiniest details about you, the way you're dressed, the way you carry yourself, your profession, anything, and she's going to start to make up stories in her head to explain them. It's usually a sign of being unhealthy when a woman does that, but they all do it to one degree or another. The healthier they are, they tend to have some measure of control over it. And to be fair to Carolyn here, it's hard to tell, since I'm not terribly familiar with the way that she writes, if this is most of this is supposed to be just fun for reading. So I guess I'll give her the benefit of the doubt to some degree there. But first, a question, she writes. Derek, have you been vaccinated? His answer deflated my enthusiasm. That's something that happens a lot with women too, is they learn one thing about you and it's like the wind is taken out of their sails. Because most modern women are looking for perfection in today's dating world. No, it's only killing old people now. I don't see the point, was his answer. Big sigh. I did see the point. Clearly, Derek's grandmother didn't hug him enough as a child. See? Telling a story, making up a story in her mind. Maybe Derek didn't even know his grandparents. She has no evidence whatsoever to base her conclusions on about why. I mean, honestly, he already stated the reason, at least superficially. The reason he's not gotten the vaccine is because he believes, whether this is true or false at the time that he said it, that it's only killing old people, and he doesn't see the point. But she can't accept that conclusion, apparently. She's got to psychoanalyze this guy in a completely unjustified and honestly self-detrimental way. It's only going to hurt herself by telling herself these stories, but that's what women do. And just when I was about to feed him my usual scare tactic studies about how men who get COVID become that frisbee-throwing old guy in the ED commercial, I stopped myself. Well, that's good. Stop trying to control people. Ladies, stop trying to control people. He's an adult. He's allowed to make his own decisions. You don't have to accept it, but stop trying to control us. What was the point? I wished Derek good luck in his search for love, and unmatched. Wow. Okay. I think that's ridiculous, but whatever. But that women are like this. It's become my most important pre-screening date question. Have you been vaccinated? It's not because I don't feel safe. I'm fully vaccinated. It is because deciding not to get vaccinated makes you really unsexy. Oh, God. This is so crazy. Jesus Christ. You have to be kidding me, Carolyn. Are you fucking kidding me? Deciding not to get vaccinated makes him unsexy? Wow. Okay. Let me be clear, she writes. This is good. I have no desire to shame anti-vaxxers and flash my scarlet P. Except that she just did. She just shamed any man who doesn't want to get vaccinated. That you're not sexy. Or you're unsexy for not getting vaccinated. Okay. It's really easy for me to have no fear. I am not part of the demographic that was tortured in the name of science. What? What the... Okay. All right. A brief interlude for a history lesson. God help us all. Oh, where to start? How about the Tuskegee experiment where we woefully let black people die of syphilis to see how bad syphilis could get? Spoiler alert, it got bad. And that happened, yes. And how about the time we performed experimental hysterectomies on black women without anesthesia? Because, you know, scientists thought black people couldn't feel pain. Spoiler alert, they did. And let's not forget when we dropped malaria mosquitoes on black. What does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with why she won't date anyone who hasn't gotten vaccinated? This is ridiculous. And in case you think using minorities as guinea pigs and blah, 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 the little experiment gone awry was to see if the drug could predict that the boys were likely to become criminals. I'm not going to read all this. Yeah, good job. I mean, but America's dark medical history is not the only reason why people are refusing vaccinations. A recent study sought to classify anti-vaxxers by their reasons. This is ridiculous. Why does she frame this article as a dating article? All right, so then she goes into the reasons. There are the COVID skeptics, the system distrusters, the cost anxious, the watchful. But I feel the researchers missed a group, and it is a group who are very intractable in their anti-vaccination stance, the selfish. This particular flavor of anti-vaxxer is waiting for the world to reach herd immunity. They eschew vaccinations because they are expecting their neighbors to protect them. In other words, they are banking on the vaccinated to do the hard work of saving humanity, and that is a douchebag move. There, I said it. Accuse me of virtue signaling or some other psychobabble that condemns me for avoiding assholes. But it is the people with this, the pandemic is over stance, and it is my right to go unvaccinated just because, who I want to tie up and stab with all 3 vaccines. This is the problem with modern women. They are incapable, utterly incapable of working with anyone who doesn't think, believe, and feel identically to them. Ostensibly, this is an article originally framed as a dating article. And now it's an article about how she wants to stab selfish a-holes who don't get vaccinated with all 3 vaccines. This is insane. I guess I don't begrudge her for feeling this way, but the fact that all this stuff is tied together in her brain just goes to show you how completely incapable so many modern women are of disaggregating the personal from the political. I understand that all these things are connected, okay? That's fair, that's fine. But none of this stuff should affect your interpersonal life at this level. If it does, you need to get some help. I won't claim that I've never had this issue. I think in the modern world, where we have access to information from all over the place at any time, can make people like this. But you have to separate yourself from it at some point. This is ridiculous. In 1901, we did just that with smallpox vaccinations. Authorities raided tenant apartments of the unvaccinated in the middle of the night. One person held down the anti-vaxxers while the other stabbed their arm. Ah, the good old days. So she's opposed to everything the American government did violating the rights of African Americans in order to test out stuff, in order to test the usefulness of drugs or the impact of illness. But she's okay with violating the rights of people who don't want to get vaccinated. This is the mindset of a lot of people with this particular political orientation. They're hypocrites. They're only interested in, in being consistent when it affects a certain minority group or a certain group of people who have been historically disadvantaged. But if you don't fit into one of those categories, then they don't give a damn. Wow. They'll violate your autonomy, your agency, without a second thought. That's incredible. Perhaps I was born in the wrong century, she writes, but those grandmothers most likely to die from COVID have a scar on their arm from when they all stood in line and got the mandatory smallpox vaccination. The main reason why we were able to eradicate smallpox is because of forced vaccination. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. I don't know if it's actually true, but it would not surprise me. Authorities understood what we seem to have forgotten today. The purpose of vaccinations is not to protect the individual. The purpose of vaccinations is to protect society. I agree. But from what I know, this is not smallpox. I don't believe it's quite as bad or affects quite as many people as smallpox. So it's entirely possible it might not justify such unprecedented modern intervention. I don't know for certain, but the fact that let's finish your article. It's possible that selfish anti-vaxxers are not admitting to their fear of vaccination. They might be taking a cavalier attitude because it seems far cooler not to get vaccinated out of indifference than it does fear. God help us. Well, cowboy, there isn't any shame in fear. Admitting that vulnerability actually makes you really sexy. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the exact kind of woman, guys, who will tell you this stuff. She'll tell you that it's wonderful for you to be vulnerable with her because it's really sexy. And then she'll dump you, or then she'll punish you or dump you because you just were too emotional. Although I will debate the science with you and tell you your dick will fall off. What? Well, cowboy, there's no shame in fear. Admitting that vulnerability actually makes you really sexy. Although I will debate the science with you and tell you your dick will fall off. What? What is harder to stomach is not caring about your fellow human. Please care, get vaccinated. Oh my God. The fact that she framed this article, Why I Won't Date Anyone Unvaccinated, this is not a dating article. This is a political article. And you gotta love this. She didn't reveal his real name. His real name is not Derek. At the bottom of the article, she says, names changed to protect a possible future ED sufferer. I don't know what the hell that's actually referencing, other than the fact that she's essentially saying she didn't reveal this real guy's name because she expects him to have erectile dysfunction in the future. So the woman who says admitting vulnerability as a man makes you really sexy is the same woman who is trying to shame this guy because she believes in the future he might have erectile dysfunction. See what I'm talking about? This is modern women. The contempt for men. The absolute and utter contempt for men. It's astonishing. really is astonishing. It's condescending and insulting. And I'm not surprised you're single, Carolyn, if this is the way you treat men. It's amazing. The fact that she is such a misandrist and has no awareness of it whatsoever. It's not surprising, but it's incredible to me. So I'm going to keep looking through your articles. I'm going to enjoy this. Wow. Okay. That's the end of the article, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please go ahead and subscribe so that you can catch all my future videos as well. My name is Alex. This is The Revolutionary Male, and I will see you next time.